Sensational signals are emerging simultaneously from several directions. In the skies over Ukraine, in the ports of the Black Sea, and across Europe's political platforms, a new configuration of events is taking shape, one that could significantly influence the further development of the conflict. Denmark has unexpectedly begun discussing a possible revision of the transfer of F-16 fighter jets to Kyiv. In Ukraine's Odesa region, strikes have been recorded against energy and port infrastructure, accompanied by contradictory statements from the opposing sides. Against this backdrop, mentions of the Oreshnik missile system have resurfaced, while social tension inside Ukraine continues to grow, from protests to harsh mobilization practices. In addition, high-profile rumors involving the Chechen leadership have circulated and have now received an official response. Let's break everything down step by step. You are watching the News Vector channel. Make yourself comfortable. We're getting started. Denmark and the F-16, a signal to Kyiv and NATO. Danish and international media have reported that Copenhagen is discussing the possibility of revising the schedule for transferring F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine, including scenarios involving the return of some aircraft already delivered. This information emerged amid a sharp rise in tensions in the Arctic and increased attention from Danish authorities to the security of Greenland, which is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. This was reported by the state broadcaster DR. Government representatives emphasize the priority remains the sovereignty of the kingdom and the protection of its own borders. In a changing strategic environment, we are obliged to reassess our defense priorities. According to sources within Denmark's Ministry of Defense, the issue lies in the limitation of domestic resources. A significant portion of Denmark's F-16 fleet has previously been decommissioned, transferred to allies, sold to third countries. As a result, according to military assessments, the combat capabilities of the Danish Air Force have approached the minimum acceptable level. It is important to emphasize that this does not yet concern a final decision, but rather preliminary consultations and risk assessments. Nevertheless, the very fact that such discussions are taking place has caused nervous reactions within NATO and sent troubling signals to Kyiv. Experts note that even a partial delay or return of aircraft would set a precedent, undermining Ukraine's confidence in the stability of Western military supplies. Oreshnik returns to the agenda. Against the backdrop of the news from Denmark, Ukraine's information space has been actively discussing the possibility of new Russian strikes, including the potential use of the Oreshnik missile system. The trigger was a video addressed by President Volodymyr Zelensky, as well as publications in Ukrainian Telegram channels and commentary from military analysts. Zelensky stated that intelligence data indicates preparations for new large-scale strikes and once again urged Western partners to accelerate the delivery of air defense systems. He highlighted a shortage of air defense missiles, the complexity and delays in logistics, the need for constant readiness among the population for air raid alerts. Russian military experts, however, have expressed a different viewpoint. Yuri Knudov suggested that such statements may carry an information-political character aimed at increasing pressure on Ukraine's Western allies. Major General Vladimir Popov noted that the likelihood of using specific missile systems depends on developments on the front lines, the activity of the Ukrainian side, the nature of Western weapons deliveries. Among potentially vulnerable directions, he mentioned areas near Ukraine's western borders where the transfer of equipment and personnel may take place. Strikes on the Odesa region, energy and protests. Today, January 17, 2026, the head of the Odesa Regional Military Administration, Ole Keeper, reported on the consequences of a nighttime attack. According to official data, the main strike targeted energy infrastructure facilities. Damage and fires were recorded. The attack was carried out using strike drones. Russia's Ministry of Defense, for its part, stated that energy and transport infrastructure used in the interest of the armed forces of Ukraine had been hit. Against this backdrop, spontaneous protests erupted in central Odesa. Residents blocked roads after 2 weeks without electricity, leading to a transport collapse. According to local public sources, in some areas there is not only no electricity, but also no water. The response from authorities remains minimal. Social tension continues to rise. Chornomorsk missile strike. Peer and contradictory claims a separate wave of attention was caused by a strike on port infrastructure in Chornomorsk. Deputy Prime Minister Oleksiy Kuleba reported a ballistic missile strike on a pier where a civilian vessel flying the Maltese flag was located. According to him, one crew member was injured. The vessel was preparing for container transport. The Russian side presented a different version. The Russian Ministry of Defense stated that the damaged containers contained military cargo supplied to Ukraine by NATO countries. As a result, the sides are presenting diametrically opposed assessments. International observers are awaiting additional clarifications. The situation remains part of an ongoing information confrontation. Mobilization and social tension. Amid the military developments, videos related to the actions of territorial recruitment centers are spreading across social networks. Reports describe cases of harsh mobilization practices, including in the Odesa and Dnipropetrovsk regions. The footage has sparked intense debate and amplified public dissatisfaction. Experts note that such episodes reflect accumulated societal fatigue and a growing deficit of trust in state institutions. Rumors around Adam Kadyrov. Official response. Special attention was drawn to the situation involving Adam Kadyrov, the son of the head of Chechnya. Earlier Telegram channels circulated rumors about an alleged serious traffic accident. In response, Ramzan Kadyrov published a video featuring his son in which he appears calm and confident. Rumors about the death of MMA fighter Khamzat Chimaev were also denied. His manager stated that the athlete is in Abu Dhabi and is doing well. Thus, the video publication became the first official comment that put an end to the wave of unconfirmed reports. Today's combination of events clearly demonstrates that the current crisis extends far beyond purely military actions and is increasingly taking on a systemic character. We can observe several key trends. First, there is growing instability in Western military commitments. Discussions in Denmark, even at the level of preliminary consultations, show that national priorities can shift rapidly under pressure from internal and regional threats. Issues related to Arctic security, Greenland, and national borders are beginning to compete with alliance obligations. This is a signal not only for Kyiv, but for the entire architecture of NATO's collective security. Second, the vulnerability of Ukraine's critical infrastructure is becoming increasingly evident. Energy and transport facilities are more frequently at the center of confrontation, and the consequences of such strikes go beyond military logic, directly affecting the daily lives of civilians. Problems with electricity, water supply, and logistics intensify internal tensions and place additional strain on state institutions. Third, we are witnessing growing social pressure within the country. Protests, road blockades, high-profile mobilization incidents, and the active spread of such videos on social media are creating an atmosphere of fatigue and irritation. These processes are becoming an independent factor influencing the stability of the home front and public sentiment, regardless of the situation on the front lines. Finally, the information struggle has clearly moved far beyond the battlefield. Statements by officials, expert commentary, leaks, rumors, and rebuttals form a separate space of confrontation, where not only facts matter, but also their interpretation. It is here that issues of trust, legitimacy, and perception are decided, both domestically and internationally. Thus, today shows that the conflict is unfolding simultaneously on multiple levels: military, political, social, and informational. And each of these levels is capable of influencing the others. This was an analytical breakdown of the key events of the day. Now it's your turn. Write in the comments how you assess Denmark's position and the potential revision of its decisions. What consequences, in your view, further escalation may lead to? And where, in your opinion, the boundary lies between military necessity, international obligations, and social resilience. You are watching News Vector. Thank you for your attention and for your active position. We're not saying goodbye. More episodes, more analysis, and more topics for reflection are ahead.